So, what were your influences? What turned you on to the kind of work that you produce?
I think it's heavily influenced by fashion, the music industry, and kind of just young sort of people, social aspects, what people are interested in. So some of the paintings that I do could be about love, could be about kind of sort of going to clubs, whatever, having a good time. It's basically what I'm interested in terms of fashion, music, really, kind of linking that together.
So Paul, where did the influence for the use of aluminium come from?
I used to always paint on board, and when I started using gloss paint, because of the reflective qualities of it, I wanted to have a very reflective background too, and obviously aluminium is very reflective. And together the idea was to continue the optical effects from my earlier work. And the idea is when you look at the painting straight on, you see all the dots, you see the gaps, so you can see the aluminium gaps. So it kind of becomes a little bit kind of out of focus. But when you stand to the side, the dots blend together, so they become almost like a photograph, so it becomes a lot more realistic. And that was the idea, with playing around with the reflective qualities.
Who would you say have been your biggest influencers?
It's hard to say really. I'm very influenced by electro kind of music. So I remember younger listening to Kraftwerk. My dad was into Kraftwerk, and then now I like Radiohead, but then also kind of like sort of dubsteppy stuff, because it's all a bit kind of a spin-off from electro. So that's always been kind of my main sort of interest in music.
Explain a little bit about your technique and again the influences.
Well, I've got two distinct styles which are very separate. The first one was the dot portraits, that I started to do those first. That came about from doing abstract paintings while I was at university, and it was basically trying to make optical patterns made up of stripes and dots. So they were quite kind of, they had the optical effect, they kind of had a lot of movement to them. When I was doing these, I thought about how I could incorporate images into the actual abstract painting. So it was kind of a bit like a magic eye picture. And from that, that kind of stemmed on to me just doing just portraits of just famous people. And the very first portrait I did was of Kate Moss, just because of me being interested in fashion. I found a really good image, so that kind of was the first painting I did. The technique for the dot portraits, it's basically, find an image that I really like, I kind of section it into different tones, different colours, so it's kind of breaking it really into like a puzzle, I suppose. And then when it's all sectioned up and fragmented down, I then draw it onto the aluminium, so obviously you have to scale it up, draw it onto the aluminium, and then when I paint the painting, it's kind of, like I say, it's like doing a puzzle really. I do the hair first, then I do the eyes, and then I build up the skin around the face and work down the face, and then do the clothes last. With the figurative stuff, that kind of stemmed from me doing the portraits. I wanted to try something different, and within the figurative stuff you can still see areas that are done in dots, and the reason why they're done in dots is because it'll be the detail features, so like the lips, obviously just rather than painting them one solid colour, I want to kind of create definition and depth, so basically they would be done in dots so I can tonally kind of create that depth to it. So I'll pick up certain areas, do those in dots, the rest will be painted flat, but still sectioned out, so you still get like a definition to it. And it's very different to the dot portrait. I wanted to try and sort of create an idea that was kind of give me something else to do, so it's like a new interest really.
Tell us how you came to meet David Bailey.
It was a collaboration with GQ for their Man of the Month. So basically I met him. I was a bit kind of wary of meeting him because I've heard lots of things about him, and he can be quite a hard person to please. But as soon as I met him, we got on really well. He's a really nice guy. He asked me lots of questions about my art and about even down to my family, things like that. You know, just got on really well. And the shoot went really well as well. It was, you know, really exciting thing to do. You see kind of a master how he works. You know, he's got a lot of assistants running around doing all his work, and then he literally comes up, clicks the button, and that's his job. Everyone else runs around him, but he obviously knows when to capture that moment. You know, even to the down, like he was giving me a hug and kind of like trying to make me smile, and then as soon as he got me to smile, he would give me a little dig in the side to make me get a smile on my face, and then instantly, as soon as you do that, you just press the button and that was it. So he obviously, you could tell that he knew how to work with people.
So So is there anyone like you who has this ability to fuse art, music, fashion?
It has been said there's a comparison to Andy Warhol, purely because of the subject matter that he was interested in, obviously the fashion, the music. You can kind of see the link between my work and his work. Even though my work is very different, there is that kind of connection.
So, Paul, are you the 21st century's answer to Andy?
Well, so I've been told, and I'd like to think so.